Well, hey there YouTube! Welcome to Game Dev Maniacs, a YouTube channel dedicated to teaching how to make video games from scratch. My name is Nicholas and I'll be your host for this session. In this series, we're going to be building a small little game called Showdown. Showdown is a 2D action game where two cowboys face off in a final duel and have to shoot each other before getting shot themselves. This is going to be the very first of 8 episodes, with the total duration of this tutorial series being about 3.5 hours. And let's talk briefly about the intended audience and what we're going to be covering. So at Game Dev Maniacs, you'll soon find all sorts of tutorials on how to make full games from scratch. You'll find some tutorials on how to make simple 2D games in this game engine called Pico 8, and this is going to be aimed at beginners. You're also going to find tutorials to make more complex 2D games in another game engine called Godot. And finally, you'll find some more advanced tutorials on how to make 3D games in Unity. So where does this series actually fall in? Well, Showdown is at the very beginning of this line. It's meant for the absolute beginner and will teach you the very basic concepts of coding. In fact, Showdown is probably one of the simplest games you could make, and that's really perfect to start learning. Now, I know what you're going to be thinking. You wanted to build the next Fortnite, and players were going to finally be able to mine and craft a bunch of stuff in your game. And while that sounds really fun, the best way to learn is really to start with very small and tiny games. Making complex games can be quite challenging if you haven't really mastered all the little concepts that go into game making. And this is what this series is all about. It's going to assume that you are either completely new to programming, or maybe you've tried it before and you thought it was way too complicated. In any way, we're going to go super slow, and I'll try to strike a good balance between the educational stuff that's important to learn and the more fun stuff that's really why we're all here in the first place. You should feel free to pause the videos at any time if you feel confused and need to watch a section again. Feel free to play around with the code that you build and experiment. You'll see that you can undo mistakes very easily. And that being said, I'm really here to help if you get stuck. Don't hesitate to ask any questions in the comments section below. If you like this series and you find it useful, just let me know in the comments and use that like and subscribe button. Show me what you've come up with on your end, and most importantly, just remember to have fun. Alright, I'll see you in the next episode. Cheers!